9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're on.
Yay!
Yay, your audio's working. Okay. That's always a challenge when that first rolls over. You're like, the audio is working. Okay, we're good. Otherwise, I have to go find some button to push. Welcome, everybody. Special edition. This is unusual. We usually do Thursday nights, but we are very, very well, very happy to be doing it today, as a matter of fact, and especially some people who decided to spend their Memorial Day weekend with us, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Amazing.
So I'm Chris Moore, and this is Tiny Bean Tara. We are both with Interfleet Broadcasting. We are a 70s, 80s, 90s pop culture, sci-fi, just about anything group that gets together and likes to talk about people who are creating new books and new movies and science fiction, as well as all of the stuff that's out there that the fans love so much. So, how you doing today? How you doing?
Good. I mean, it is not every day that you get to converse with one of your idols for your whole life. So this is great.
This is great. Yeah, I'll admit I'm a little bit nervous. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it's always, especially the producer behind the scenes, like, is the internet going to go down? Is the button not going to work? Is something going to happen? Mm-hmm. So. But,
is my cat going to chime in today? These things happen. You never know.
Okay, we love our furry friends.
That's right.
All right, so we always start off our show with a toast to the fans, and we like to say that it's the fans who fuel the fleet, the people out there that create the fandoms, the people out there that pass on information. If you don't write something down, or if you don't do something that can be passed on to someone else, then that information, we all have a shelf life, and it goes away with you. So it's great that there are fans out there. That's great that people out there, that are authors, great people who create movies, people who create that art. We really thank you, and we always like to say that we're all fans, and because fans for the fleet, we cheers to you.
Cheers, everyone. Mm-hmm. Canada Dry Ginger Ale.
Coffee in the afternoon. What can I say?
With the best mug ever.
That's right, I always want to, every time I pick it up and drink it out of it, I'm always thinking of that. I'm probably going to date myself here. The best part of waking up is a Cylon on your cup. That's not quite it, but
that was the original version.
That was the original version. They had to change it. It was something about copyright issues. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Would you like to introduce everybody? Tiny?
Sure, absolutely. It is our absolute joy and privilege today, guys, to welcome Laurette Spang McCook and her son Jake McCook and Molly McCook. So we're really excited to have them here today. We are going to be talking specifically about this fascinating book. If I can get it on the camera. Here we are. The Cliffs of Schizophrenia, Mother and Son Perspective, written by both Jake and Laurette McCook. And this is just an absolutely heartwarming and impressive book that is it is so well put together, and it is this side-by-side dueling explanation, monologues of both of their perspectives of dealing with this diagnosis, and it is really, really well done. Especially from my perspective, I have family and friends who have also been touched by this illness. So this was such a fascinating read, guys. Absolutely urge you all to go out and pick it up. So we are really excited to have them here today. Yeah. Oh, and here we get lots of our fans.
We got lots of people. Looks like
look at that. Awesome.
It was greetings from down under. It looks like Laskowski and them from Australia are on and everything. So it's 5 a.m. down there. Holy crap. Of course, they're in the future too. So
Excellent.
All
All
right. Well,
right.
without further ado, we'll go ahead and get kicked off because I know the time is important to everybody, and I just want to make sure that we appreciate their time, and here they all are.
Hey
Welcome.
guys. Welcome, welcome. Wow.
Hi, thank
I'm
you.
glad to have you guys here
Oh,
today.
so great to finally be here.
Yes, absolutely. And Molly, so great to see you as well. Hi.
Yeah, you too. Hi.
Hi.
I was just thinking, here's your coffee on Thursday evenings? Are you guys coffee evening drinkers?
No, not Thursday evenings. No.
That's a special show.
Yeah. They don't call me the Tipsy Toaster for anything. So.
A lot of fun. So great. We would love to talk about the inspiration behind putting this book together. As I said, it is really fascinating, and it is a great deep dive into the perspective of both a mother and son on this. And I'm curious, how did you come up with the idea for that?
Well, we it was just kind of birthed from just being inside my own head and wanting to create something that was just trying to create something that was something that was
That explained
how I was thinking and how I was. Yeah. So
Go
ahead.
Explain. It's really hard because what Jake sometimes goes through, it in the beginning, it just took everything. It stripped his career from him, which he was a terrific video editor, filmmaker, and he had gone to film school and if you go onto his website, it's www.jakemccook.com. His website has videos that he had made, and using all his friends. I think like when he was 18, he did a video movie with Carol Burnett is a family friend, and she got him permission to shoot at UCLA. And he did a video with Adrienne Barbeau and Bob Picardo, who's a dear friend. Bob Picardo did Jake's graduation at school. He did the commencement at the school, very tiny school. Yeah, so he's sweet.
Three kids.
Yeah.
3 kids.
Yeah, that we just adore him. He's
I just read that chapter,
coolest.
as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'm trying to think, our the sci-fi people that we know, that community. I mean, Bob is he's unique. He's so talented and terrific. Anyway, during that time, getting the book going, I think Jake just needed to do something. He needed to find something that was creative, that filled that space. And I asked him, I said, what do you think about writing a book? And it was tough for him to, kind of bypass the paranoia symptoms and things. And it took us about 2 years to write. And then you can tell them about what you changed and what you decided the structure was going to be with the font.
Yeah, once we started going, I decided that we should make it a font that was a larger font. And then once that happened, then I decided that we should start doing the mother and son alternating chapters. And then once we did that, then we just started to, once we did that, we started to write back and forth in the same room together. And then we would write one chapter, and then we would write in one subject and then compare chapters after that.
And then short chapters.
Short chapters, yeah.
Jake's idea was, he said, I want this to be for people like me who have the mental health issues and have short attention spans and focus issues. And so he really worked hard at keeping that focus on the book. And I'd look across the room once in a while from my desk to his. And I remember one day looking over there and going, oh, he's got a baseball cap on. It's pulled down. He's got his dark glasses on. I went, Jake, are you asleep? And so we went through the thing of trying to, find that zone of even if we went through the day, writing is such a process. It's different than that process being on a set where you have to stay alert all the time.
Right.
You have to wait till it strikes you to write a chapter, a book, put it down, something meaningful. So we would always stay in the office for like the whole day until it hit, like sometimes at 4:00. And he fought symptoms back and really was awesome about writing it. So we've been very blessed with this. And his sister Molly has been a rock with us in keeping, helping spiritually keep us focused in on what we wanted to do and telling us not to give up. And she's Jake's sounding board to really help him through everything. She's
helped a lot.
The Uber sister. And and she'll do the Instagram, you can tell the Instagram, she's kept us. She's saying, Mom, you can't say that. Sometimes on the Instagram, you're putting things out.
Well, just the
there.
technical stuff of social media is just, it's weird. And it's like always evolving and you have to keep up with how things are working. And so I just said, no, you're not allowed to post. You tell me what you want to do and I'll tell you how to do it. But actually, you guys have learned and now it's kind of like become their thing and they have been doing Jake's daily vlogging and saying, this is how I'm feeling today. And so they took over. So they've learned well.
Yeah, we always call Molly. I'm still of that generation that I will call her and say, I don't know what happened. We're not doing. She goes, no, Mom, I told you how to do it. And she'll sit there and talk me step by step, through how to get something posted or a reel and, all those things. And by the way, Instagram is at Cliffs of Schizophrenia. That's all, just Cliffs of Schizophrenia. And that's Jake's vlog that he puts on. There's videos and it keeps you up to date on any events or interviews we're doing too, as well as his website. So.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's
it's a great
So go
website.
follow us.
Definitely. So did you guys go into this with a publisher already, or did you just start working on it and to see where it went?
Book Baby.
No, Book Baby. What we did was I was afraid of putting it into the hands of a publisher that was going to change the intent of the book. And Jake wrote chapters that were called Stream of Consciousness. And those were for the times when he couldn't focus enough to write, or he was feeling too paranoid that day and his thoughts wouldn't let him focus. And so I said, why don't you try just writing whatever's in your head? Forget about punctuation. Forget about that. Just write what's going on in your head, because then people can really know with someone who's struggling with this disease what is happening. And he wrote these incredible, at first I worried, that it was, are they going to get this? But the truth is, you see that each thought and each thing that he goes through is a complete thought, but then it switches over to something else, and it shows how many thoughts are coming into his head all the time. Mm-hmm. So he did a number of those chapters in there. Why did I bring that up?
Because of Book Baby.
Yeah, I do. I think that the publishing thing, we finally went with self-publishing, and some of these companies now, I used to think, what the hell is self-publishing? Do we have to put it? How do we do that? And they do a lot for you. You kind of get a package and everything, but we were absolutely in control of everything that happened, down to the font. We talked to them about what we wanted, and then when they edited, did an edit, a copy edit for us, I put in a note and said, you're not to touch the Stream of Consciousness chapters. You can't edit those.
Great.
That stays. And they went, okay, great. And so in that way, a publisher wouldn't have done that. They would have moved things around and said, oh, I don't know about that. So
Right.
yeah, so we did go. The good thing is some of these self-publishing companies are great, and put together, use Jake's art on the cover of the book, a lot of it. Some they added a little color to it, but
He did a good compilation. Or
they did. Of our ideas, because we got to put notes in and say, these are the colors we want to stick with. We want it to be simple, with clouds in there. And then they came up with, what they did. We told them the kind of font we wanted. So we had a lot more control. The problem with self-publishing is in the distribution. I'm marketing the book all by myself. And Molly can tell you, it's just been, I'm working all day long. I'm on my phone trying to set things up. We just did a book signing at Barnes and Noble last night, and setting that up, and we signed our books, and I'll send you guys some pictures.
Cool.
It was great fun. So we're doing, like with you guys, talking, trying to spread the word, because at first I thought, you guys, it wouldn't relate to this group of people. I thought, no, it relates to everyone.
Yes.
There's mental illness everywhere. And specifically with schizophrenia, nobody talks about it. And we wanted to get it out there and be able to, say, and for Jake, we've talked about the face of schizophrenia seems to be lately with the media, mass shootings and, all the people out there that are doing violent things. But the truth is, Jake, that's a face of schizophrenia, a kind, good person. There's only 6% that are violent but the media catches those and then blasts it out there. And so everybody goes, ooh, schizophrenia. So we don't talk about it except close friends. And this guy is so brave and putting it all out there. And we just did a podcast with Maurice Bernard of General Hospital, and he's bipolar, and it came out yesterday. So YouTube, Maurice Bernard's State of Mind, and we did an episode with him that we're very.
Yeah, he's such a cool guy. He's been so awesome from the beginning and helping us through and doing a really cool podcast. So he's awesome.
Yeah, he and Jake have become buddies because of that. Yeah. All their things in common. They've both been in psychiatric hospitals. They both can sit there and talk about, oh man, what was that like? And it's this great connection. So he's helped us a lot, and do check it out because that's really worthwhile.
Oh, I can't wait to check that out. Thank you so much for that. I'm so glad you went the route that you did, because those stream of consciousness chapters are just worth their weight in gold. It's really very powerful and super brave of you, Jake, to do that. I love your writing style is just beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's just been this whole book, although we wrote it, it's really a family. It's about family, about hope, about connection. It's what has brought all this forward is Jake. We're all around him, and each one of us has a part in helping him stay strong and fight this. I mean, in the early days, it was just basically we were told that, he wouldn't be able to really do anything. It was all loss. And I thought, that can't be. I mean, because, he still had so many good things, and Molly would help with that. Malls. Yeah. Yeah, because Molly Jake could talk to her. He has called and texted her at all hours, and she's always there for him.
Yeah, Malls is always
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
She's always there to pick up the phone to listen to what I have to say.
That's what family's for, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
one of the chapters was I love my family, and another one was my family loves me. Piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's so great. Yeah,
It's, I
and
think
I
we
love
all,
being
that's,
able to see your artwork too. And
oh
there
yeah.
were some pages of Jake's artwork too that I love to see that. So I'm sure
Yeah.
that helps play a part in your life, your art. And I understand you're studying now as well. Or do you continue with that?
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to stay with it and study and still stay fresh with it. Yeah.
It's something that's always there, you know,
Yeah.
his art. And I mean, we're a very creative family.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, you know,
definitely.
Oh yeah,
like,
there's
you
a lot
know,
of talent here.
Yes.
it's kind of a fun family because, you know, their dad is soap actor for how many years is dad on there? 37?
Well, since I've been alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jake
I'm
too.
sure
It's
my
been
mom.
37 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Eric Forrester thing is, so we've got the soap actor and then Molly after her Tim Allen series,
Fantastic.
Last Man Standing,
love it.
and Good Trouble. And you know, so we're all, you know, we all connect, and
It all
and
came from Jake, though. I was directed by Jake. I mean, I was always interested in it, right? Because it was always around with my dad, and obviously my mom's history and resume and experiences and all the footage we get to see. But Jake, you know, I was so little. I mean, I was so little when I was acting in Jake's movies. I was like in diapers, and I was Jake directing me to be murdered by all my stuffed animals, and I had ketchup on my neck. I had big, long, you know, death choking, you know, and he taught me how to take direction as a little kid. I mean, he was always my, you know, my big brother and my teacher. So that's all that experience like came from family movies. I mean, we do have the regular boring family videos, but I'll tell you, 87% of them are all of us throwing ourselves across the room and taking direction from Jake. And he taught us everything we know is from that brain and his artistry. So.
Oh,
You had
brilliant.
that.
I would love to see that.
Oh, God. Well, go to the website because you can see a lot of them
On YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube.
And YouTube under Jake McCook. There's actually, you know, Molly and Spider-Man at, how old were you? Oh,
like for 13 or something?
11, 12. Yeah. Something.
Yeah. Well, your braces were off, so you must have been 13.
Well, I had them twice, so which time was it?
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's something with all families. I mean, ours is a little nutty, but we're very close and very supportive, and it's the best. And then Jake's started to step back into doing his videos for his vlog on Instagram, and those are
the Instagram vlog. Oh,
right,
yeah.
Right. Your Cliffs of Schizophrenia. Those are great. And once in a while there'll be something, and Molly and I'll talk, and she'll go, I don't know, Jake. I don't know. Maybe you should. Yeah, you could see some of them there. I mean, there's the.
If you go on to YouTube on Jake McCook, you search Jake McCook on YouTube. Yeah, there's
there.
You can find Spider-Man on there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. Some of them. I mean, going from when he was 9 years old until the present. I mean, we all did movies. I mean, I think in the book I mentioned that my mom, Jake's grandma, he had her in the kitchen, tied to a chair with an apple in her mouth and a knife at her throat. And I came in and I went, "Oh my God,
Oh, there's Molly.
untie her!"
There's Molly on
But my
Gone 60 Seconds. There's Molly.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Gone 60 Seconds trailer.
but
That's
Jake
There's
was.
mom sobbing.
Oh yeah, that's the moonlighting. I think those.
I feel like I
Yeah.
need to go through those and do an approval. I gotta
Yeah,
check
right.
that out.
Seriously. Like, I didn't sign off on this.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's
so
true.
cool.
There've been, there's a lot more on there.
There's a lot more on
Oh, yeah.
there,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Oh, I have to do a deep dive into those. That's gonna
Yeah.
be fun.
Better do it now before Molly goes through and scrubs them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, she's
they're probably
absolutely our
fine.
moral compass in them. That some of them from then, she'll say, "No, you guys, it's today. You can't do that one. You got to leave that one out."
Also, this was the mind of a teenage boy. So it's like,
Oh, well, true
okay. I
enough.
mean, and things that we have watched religiously over and over again over the years. And of course we laugh, but then you have to go, wait, imagine that you're not in this family, and imagine that this wasn't a teenage, from the outsider's perspective, we have to rewatch them and go, okay, can this be on the internet? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's true.
that is
That's
terrific.
true.
We did have they did have an interesting upbringing, and all their friends were in the videos. So,
Yeah.
we get a lot of kids who he put them on YouTube because so many of those kids went, "Oh, where's that video? It's so cool." Molly's got a friend who's on Broadway that was dressed as a woman singing at the piano that
Yeah.
Jake did talked him into putting on a dress and doing this whole number and
Yeah,
he's
that's
done with
one
it.
I'd need to get the approval of. I'm going, okay,
did
now
you
we have to
say?
check with the other people. They probably
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even remember doing it.
Did,
Yeah.
did we
Yeah, we
sign?
got
Did
a
we sign a
number.
release on that one?
Coming to the McCook house was like, you will be put in a movie. Jake will be directing you and giving you a character to play. And everybody was excited to do it. They came over all the time. And I don't think it was normal to not do something, any sort of like
Yeah.
a music video or a remake of a movie trailer, or, that was like, we weren't sitting on social media back then. Like our playground was the Jake McCook Film Academy, as far as we were concerned. So,
What was his name? Your friend from Broadway?
Oh, well,
Oh, Nick. Yeah.
Nick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick was amazing. Nick was amazing.
Well, he then
Yeah,
went
there
to
were-
Juilliard, so he started with
Wow. Wow, look at
and he
that.
started with Jake.
Awesome. I am
Yeah,
a
it's-
huge musical theater fan, so that makes me very happy to hear.
you. Yeah.
And Molly, let me geek out for a second because your spot on Glee is one of my favorites of all time. So
Oh yeah.
I know that was season 1, Neil Patrick Harris. That was really like the height. Like, I feel like when Glee was all the rage, that first season
Yeah.
was, I mean, it continued being huge, but that was huge for me. Funny story is I got that was one of my only same day auditions, where my agents called me and said, "Can you get over to this casting office within the hour and sing this song?" And it was Daydream Believer by the Monkees. And I'll tell you, I don't think most people my age knew that song. And I only knew it because the movie Now and Then is my favorite childhood movie that I've watched 100 times. And it's a song that plays while they're riding on their bikes. And I don't think I would have been able to run over there and sing that song and like so confidently if I didn't love that movie so much. So yeah, it all worked out.
That was so exciting to have you get that. She was beyond.
Oh my God.
I mean, she went into there were tons of people there auditioning, and
oh yeah,
it just was meant to be. And she was so shocked and went in, and he was great with her, and yeah, it was super cool.
It was quick but memorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That was wonderful. Wow.
Thank you.
Oh boy, sure. So what is next for you guys? Laurette, I know you said that you've got another book on tap potentially.
Oh well, yeah. I've had a novel,
Yes.
a 350
Page novel on your desk.
Yeah,
I read
on
that.
my desk
Yep.
forever, and I think it's really good, but I wrote it over the course of many years, and so I have to get it to a copy editor and somebody with continuity to sit there and say, "Whoa," you know. Hopefully, it'll come together. It'll be good, and I would love to find a publisher for that because I'm exhausted from marketing this guy, but if I do, I'll let you guys know.
That'd be great.
And
yeah, we love that.
You.
Yeah, my kids.
And-
that was my big fear. Was when we finished this book, I thought, oh great, now I've got 2 unfinished books on my desk, and if I get hit by a car, people can just say, oh yeah, I think she wrote a couple of books, but never did anything with them. So.
It's a really cool book. It's a really cool story. The book is really really interesting. I hope she finishes it.
Yeah, it's kind of a thriller rom-com-y, about an actress. She's, of course, she does Broadway, and she has an Oscar, and she's very well known, and there's a romance in it, and there's a crazy reporter kind of guy that follows her around. That's just manic and awful.
Who's the guy?
Arnie Spizzo.
Arnie Spizzo.
He's a creepy guy. Anyway, it's great fun, and we'll see. And as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking, yeah, I got to get that out and do it. It's on my desktop. I've just got to finish it.
Oh, wow. We look forward to that. And I understand that you guys are working on the audiobook version of the Cliffs of Schizophrenia. Is that's true?
Yeah. We're almost done, right?
Yeah.
And
10 or, I don't know.
I've got today, after I do this.
You might finish today, yeah.
I'm hoping today I'm going to finish my part. Jake's part is done, as I said, by John Krause, Molly's husband. And John is in Hadestown on Broadway. Was in Hadestown on Broadway. Oh yeah, and he's the original Indian original ensemble, and then went on. Molly can tell the story about how John waited a whole year in the ensemble to do the lead. He was understudying the lead, and you tell them, Molly, what happened with that.
Oh yeah, he was going to play Orpheus, the lead that he had understudied for over a year, and he was about to, and everyone had flown in. I was working on Last Man Standing. He was going to do the shows through the weekend. I was flying in the morning to see the next show, and the whole morning of that day there were rumblings and the news and pandemic. So this was in 2020, and he was worried, but thought, when is Broadway ever shut down? And a few hours before the show started, all of Broadway shut down.
Oh.
It was the day. And it was crazy.
Oh.
I mean, the details of it are like, the story is unbelievable because, he walks to the theater. They all wanted to meet and be together, and they all held each other and cried.
Oh.
And it just was like, what are the odds? And can't believe it happened on the day. But the good part of the story is that Broadway reopened. He got to be in the cast, of course, and reopened with everyone, which, was history. And and then he had the most magical, worth the wait night where so many of us flew in to see it. It was like
we were all there.
All the bartenders in the theater who had been there since the show opened were all in tears because they all were waiting for John to play the part. And now he's played it. He's in Toronto right now playing Orpheus and finishing out the tour. He's home in a few days. But now he's been able to, now he has his principal contract and he's been playing the role. So it's been worth the wait, but the show has been a part of our family for like 5 years. So
yeah, such a great show.
Special.
And speaking of great shows, we were talking about Cruel Intentions, which I wish I was out in LA to have seen. That must have just been amazing.
Oh,
You saw it.
Honestly, it's still, or no, I think you said that you wish you.
Yes.
No, I wish
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
have
yeah,
gone
yeah.
early to have seen that. I was like,
It's,
oh man.
It's in, what's crazy is that the show is in London. I mean, they have gone on to have like a more produced, bigger. I mean, I saw videos and pictures of it, and I was like, that is not the show, because we just did it so stripped and simply in this like bar theater that we loved, and now it's like an entire production. So if you make your way to London, it is there.
Oh,
Remember when who came to it, Mal?
Yeah, and that's how I met my husband, by the way. He came in and filled in. He took over for my friend who was playing the lead, and his first night was the night that Reese Witherspoon, Selma Blair, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Roger Cumble, who wrote and directed it, they all came to it. So it was like, and then they all, they had a girls' night out and drank too much and sang all the lyrics, because it was all 90s music. We're singing Bittersweet Symphony and Torn by Natalie Imbruglia, and we're doing all these songs that we all know by heart. And so they were just like singing with us, and it was amazing. So very special.
That is fantastic. I love stories. Like the magic of theater, I always say. It's like,
yeah,
it's
true.
It is.
Wow.
I love that show.
Yeah.
So what's up next for you, Molly? Can
I wish I knew.
Can you talk about it? Oh, okay. Sometimes
I wish I knew.
sometimes we get some people on here. Sometimes like, we can't talk about it.
You kind of go, no, I don't. Being an actor is weird. Sometimes you're working and sometimes you're.
Yeah.
Well, of course, but sometimes you're working, sometimes you're not, and it's we'll see what's next. I'm always excited for what's next, because you never know.
Maybe you'll play somebody on Battlestar Galactica if it ever comes back out again.
Yes.
You know what? I am available, and it is in my blood. So there.
Yeah. Oh, we would be so thrilled to see that.
I know.
You and me both.
I know. Well, but we heard that it was possibly the original series was rebooting, but I haven't heard. It sort of slowed down. The talk was out there.
So the last pieces we have on that was there's two different series. There's one that's going to continue the Ron Moore universe, kind of a prequel to that one, and then there was actually Kinsberg was put on the staff for the actual movie, which was going to be similar to the original. So there was actually two movements on it, and both of them have just kind of gotten quiet. So.
I know.
I mean, the truth is the process takes a long time. It's like the seed can be planted, and then you're like, you don't hear anything, and they could be writing a script, or they could be there's so much. Who knows? Hopefully all will be done.
That's it.
Hopefully.
That would be amazing. There's a lot of buzz, and and clearly there's still a lot of interest and a lot of fans. Like, here we are.
That's what kind of created this show. So we went off of the Interfleet Broadcasting, which was one of the episodes inside of the original Battlestar Galactica. That was their original broadcast news channel. So we went ahead with that, spun it off a little bit, and copyrighted it, and then now here we are, 4 years later, every Thursday.
Nice.
Something else.
There's something so lasting about any sci-fi series. It's just. I was telling Molly, you've got to get a series or do a movie that's sci-fi, because it's just forever. I mean, the fans are remarkable and different than any other medium, I think.
Different might be a good word. Sometimes. I'm sure. Molly, you went with your mom to the convention, and you got to see some of those different people.
Yeah, it was pretty. I have to say, though, it was really amazing, because there were people walking up to her to get. I mean, first of all, the posters and things that they had. They said that old posters they had to fold out that they had kept in great condition, and I just was so amazed with what she was signing. It's like, it's not just bringing in pictures, it's like people have these amazing things that they've kept over the years and waited for people to sign, or waited for all of them. It's like I saw that they've had everyone except her, and that was their final piece. And But it wasn't just that, people were coming up and going, I loved you on Charlie's Angels. And my mom was like, what? Like that? And there's so many, I mean, obviously it's like, it is an example of how many incredible things that she did. But, yeah, it's really, really cool. And I had surprised her and eBayed a Battlestar Galactica shirt that had her face on it. I know, I love it. So it was really fun to sit next to her and meet all those people and see how excited they were. And it was a cool experience. Yeah. I can't believe I hadn't been yet, but I would love to go to more. It was really fun.
Oh, great.
They're unique, and you guys know. I mean, any of those conventions are there's such a cross section of people and interest. And what blows me away is when somebody comes up from, say, Germany, and they quote a line from one of the episodes and look at me and they say a line and they say, do you remember? Do you that or they're wearing a costume like something I wore. And it's the first time I went many years ago, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the the loyalty of the fans and the constancy of finding that world. And people, mostly I get, guys, my audience has moved up in age, but it was always the 12-year-old boys, 12 to 14 at the time, talked to me about there would be a divorce in their family or whatever was going on at the time, and that was everything to them, was watching the show, and they pretend I was their mom or girlfriend or and it was all these stories that you realize you can touch another life in the most unique, different ways.
I mean, I think it's very there's fandoms, and if you get to be part of that fandom, there's the Star Wars, the Star Trek, the Battlestar, and there's so many different fandoms out there. And these people are extreme fans of the stories. People who wrote stories. You've written a book. You've transferred information from you to something that's always going to be permanent. Just like when you act, you are transferring your talent onto a piece of film back in the day or now on digital that will be there for a very long period of time, and people will always come back to it, and you will be part of their lives, and you just don't realize it. I'm sure it's fantastic feeling to finally become, someone comes up to you and says, oh, you meant this to me, or you did that. That is a true testament. If you make a difference in one person's life, if you can make a difference, that's the important thing. And I think that's, I'm really applauding your book. It's something that it's going to make a difference in someone's life. Even if you reach that one person, it's so important. And then get the information out there. So it's fantastic that you've shared that. It's fantastic that you've taken your talent and put it on digital. It's fantastic that you you go with the fans. A lot of people don't like fans. People, they're a pain in the butt. They really are.
But
not to me. I mean, that's the whole idea is, and then you do meet some people who are, it's rare, but we talk about it every so often. You do meet some actors, actresses, writers, producers that are actual fans of their own production or other productions that inspired them. And those are, and some people just, hey, we've interviewed some actors and it's like, the fans know more about the show than I ever did. And, I like sharing my stories, but to tell you the truth, it was just a job for me. And it's like, that's sad. Because it means so much more to a fan than it would be to that one actor. And I'm not saying you are like that. I'm just saying that there are some out there that don't share that enthusiasm for the art or for the sharing it. So thank you for the book. Thank you for being who you are.
Yeah.
It's something that I think everybody, I had when I was 8 or 9 and my parents divorced, my person that I wrote to all the time was Ed
Shadows.
Burns, Ed Kooky Burns from Sunset Strip.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, yeah, not Edward Burns, but Ed Kooky Burns. And I wrote everything to him and would send it off in these little white crinkled envelopes and just spilled my guts to him. And then one day in the mailbox was a color postcard and with his picture on it. And of course, I believed with all my heart that he personally wrote it until my brother, typical brother thing, he goes, "No, you idiot. It's just like a copy of, he stamped something or somebody stamped it on there." But I remember it said, "Your friendship means a great deal to me. I can't thank you enough for writing, Ed." I remember it word for word. I could see it in my head. And to me, he wrote it to me. I didn't believe anything else. I just knew it was for me. And it really, through my childhood, I had that postcard. So it does. I get it. I do get it, what it can mean.
Yeah. Oh, what an amazing story. Yeah,
So-
I mean,
Yeah.
for me as a child, I was a little girl, Battlestar Galactica, little girl with older brothers that were, sci-fi is for boys. But to be able to see Battlestar Galactica and to see this beautiful woman on the screen and be like, look, there's a girl up there, and that
Yeah.
inspired my lifetime. So representation matters for everybody.
And they're very strong
Yeah.
characters. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real strong, real characters.
Warriors.
Women warriors. It was just what an inspiration. And here I am today, how many years later, as a big, huge sci-fi fan. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's good it really is good to hear that and know that, and it kind of reaffirms. I mean, Molly, you've done a lot, of this kind of stuff,
You don't realize,
fan
yeah.
thing. And she's had, in the beginning of Last Man Standing, some real fan, what do you call it?
Stalkers.
Blowback, from fans because she was replacing somebody. And so would get some negative things. And Molly, instead of ignoring, she would just say, "Hey, I know everybody's not going to like me, but, I'm going to do the best job I can." And fans grew to love her because she talked back to them, and explained.
Well, talk back can be bad. I reply.
Well,
Let's rephrase
I
that.
did that in the privacy of my own home, but then I filtered it
yeah,
and I said, "Listen, yeah, you have to." And honestly, I didn't blame them for it because I actually think that was I think that was a part of that initial tweet that I said, "Hey, I understand what it's like to love a show so deeply that it's hard to see it any other way." And I think I said, I can imagine what that feels like in your shoes to see something change visually so much. And I said, "I hope that you can give me a chance. And I hope that over time you can accept me." And from my perspective, I think it did happen. It happened within those last 3 seasons. But I understood it. I don't know that any of my shows that I adored had any sort of big replacements, but I definitely when a new season would come and they would change it so much. It's hard. So I know that's what art is. You deeply, deeply love it. And when it gets shaken up, it's you're disturbed by it. So, but it's yes, some things are just jobs to us, but the whole reason personally, I think there's plenty of actors out there who maybe don't feel this way, which is sad. But I think the majority of us, why we do this is because of the connection to fans and because of the connection to an audience that appreciates the art, loves the story, loves the characters and all of that. That's literally why it becomes a passion. It's not just like a paycheck or, another credit on a resume. And I think some are more special than others, but the whole reason why we do what we do is because of fandom and because of the connection and affecting people. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. It still exists,
Yeah.
it's always existed and it's still going. So
Well
Yeah.
said.
cool.
Well said.
Yes, just beautifully said. Thank you. Oh
Oh, okay.
boy.
One of the last questions we always ask, and I know once again we thank you for the weekend, but we always like to go through our guests and see if there is a sci-fi show that inspires you or a TV show that inspired you growing up, and what was it and why? So I think we'll start off with Molly because she's the top right there. So
Well, this is funny because this connects to the not my work. Can you imagine? I named something of mine. No, I haven't been able to do that. But what I'm gonna name is the movie Galaxy Quest.
oh wow,
Starring my TV dad, Tim Allen, because
Yeah.
that connected the world of conventions and being an actor, and also the real world of that whole sci-fi thing. And I just was so obsessed with the way that it was done. It made me laugh so hard. That the whole cast was so funny, and just the concept is so original, and it's hard now. You don't see original things anymore. So that to me was like the perfect marriage between comedy and the real life and the sci-fi world. Like how I thought the concept is so brilliant. I still love it. I think it's amazing. So that's
Yeah.
good choice.
Love
I like,
it.
that was a really
Yeah.
good show. All right, Laurette, you're up next. Can't use Battlestar.
Oh God! I always loved any kind of science fiction. I mean, reading. I always did Ray Bradbury and The Illustrated Man, and my imagination more. And then watching Twilight Zone, right? Would that count?
Yeah,
Of course.
that was always good.
One of my favorites. Yes.
I mean, Twilight Zone. My brother and I think it was New Year's Day that would do marathons. 24 hours of Twilight Zone. And I've got all my favorite and almost anything. I mean, I was always ghost stories and I always love anything where they're off in a spaceship. And yeah. And
I relate to that.
yeah, and you always liked oh God.
What was showing a spaceship?
Yeah. Firefly?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Firefly.
Yes, of course. One of the best.
I mean, anything. I mean, I even loved Lost in Space. I watched Lost in Space, and I watched the original Star Trek. I loved the Tribbles and almost anything going on. Still, a movie comes out that's outer space, anything science fiction, I'm there, and anything that's got that twist to it and tweaks your imagination and takes you to another place. I love. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, I can't relate to it when somebody doesn't like that, because our whole family loves sci-fi, spooky, but not creepy. I don't like slasher movies. But
Right.
the real,
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I always told my kids, I said, you know what? The Saw and all those aren't really sci-fi. They're just horror films. But the ones that I said, if you saw a real ghost movie, Signs. I loved Signs.
Oh yeah.
Signs, wonderful. Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good
that's just it's the thought that there's something else out there. It takes you back to when you're a kid laying under the stars and you're looking up there, and I used to just stare and imagine that I could see forever, and that was somebody out there on another planet or on an asteroid or somewhere, looking back and wondering. And I like most people, you go through that thing of the infinite and that anything is possible. And yeah, I love all that. Love.
Jake, how about you? Any movies or TV shows that inspire you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love Firefly. That's my favorite show. I mean, I like just how human the characters are, and that they're up on a spaceship together, and that they're dealing with all the issues that they have to deal with on the spaceship.
Joss Whedon did a great job on that.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
It's one of my favorites.
You know what's going to happen to all of us is at 3 a.m. we're all going to sit up and go, "Oh my God, I forgot to say this one." You know, key one that you're thinking about. There's so many.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and once again, thank you for sharing your talents, sharing the book, which is right to my left here. And I think it's important that you wrote it, and I hope to see more. Hope to see movies or TVs or infomercials or whatever it may be that you, and I know you volunteer, Laurette, you volunteer at a lot of places, and it's so great that you want to give this information out. It's so great that Molly and you and everybody's got the talents in your family, and you share those talents with everyone, and it's fantastic. We are fans, and we always will be.
Fans of all three of you guys. Thank you for sharing all your talents.
Thanks for having us.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the best. Anytime.
So as we always say, when we leave, is because this is all about the fans, and the fans fuel the fleet. Thank you so much for coming. Look forward to seeing you again. Take care.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Chris. Can you see the face?
What?
I love that.